ओं मेरा ओं श्री अरविंदो ओं मेरा ओं श्री अरविंदो ओं मेरा ओं श्री अरविंदो. Good morning, welcome everyone. Today the topic of this spiritual discussion will be on Sri Aurobindo's spiritual experience. Sri Aurobindo's spiritual experiences and impressions. Today we are going to discuss in the topic spiritual experiences. Once somebody asked a question to Sri Aurobindo whether he had any kind of yogic experience in the early years. On the early years when he was in England during his studies, somebody asked in the early period whether he is having any kind of yogic experience. In the reply, he recalls the incident at Darjeeling. Incident at Darjeeling in the early periods he experienced and writes, I was lying down one day when I saw suddenly a great darkness rushing into me. In the initial hours during in the early period, early life, Sri Aurobindo describes, I was lying one day when I saw suddenly a great darkness rushing into me and enveloping me and the whole universe. That darkness surrounding me, enveloping me and the whole universe. After that, I had a great tamas, inertia, great tamas, Sri Aurobindo writes, always hanging on to me all along my stay in England. That darkness, that tamas was actually moving throughout, even near beside him, it was enveloping him. I believe that darkness had something to do with the tamas inertia. That darkness had to do something with the tamas that came upon me. It left me only when I was coming back to India. During the entire stay, that exile, Ramas Bonavas, like 14 years, his study period in England was defined. It is almost compared with Ramachandra's 14 years of exile, like this. It left me, that tamas, that darkness left me only when I was coming back to India. Next, we can get some impression as Sri Aurobindo has given. Sri Aurobindo himself also spoke of another vivid impression, Sri Aurobindo's, in his Sri Aurobindo's own words. At the age of 11, at the age of 11, he had already received a strong impression that a period of general upheaval and great revolutionary changes was coming in the world, and he himself was destined to play a part in it. Just imagine, Sri Aurobindo speaks, a great revolution is coming, a great revolutionary change and a great period of general upheaval was coming in the world, and he himself is destined to play a part in it, not a part, a bigger part in it, and the only part, because he is the, as described, O son of strength, who creates creation speak, no soul is thy companion in the light. So imagine that impression was there at the age of 11. So this was not the mere idea but a kind of inner feeling, and this feeling went on growing strongly, and he was meant to do some great work to fulfill the great purpose. There was also second inner change which you can see at the age of when he was at the age of 13. Initially it was 11 and then it is 13. He kept on feeling that he was selfish. He felt himself that he is very much selfish, and felt from within that he must give up this selfishness. Already we know that selfishness is occupied, it is there inside, and he has to give up, he has to throw up of this selfishness. He resolved to give it up. To give up this selfishness, he resolved and commenced to practice. This practice was also going on at the age of when he was at the age of 13, 1-3. And from then onwards, when he started resolved and practiced to give up this selfishness, from then onwards, his life was completely changed. Thereafter, all the knowledge in the mind had to be immediately put into practice. All knowledge of the mind was put into practice. This was the rule from within ever from childhood. As a rule, this was a rule only from the childhood he resolved. He decided to give up the practice, and this practice went on from the childhood. This is the very master key of his life. For this key opened the door not only towards the revolutionary movement or in the normal way of life or some morality or religiousness, that is opened his life towards spiritualism and simultaneously towards the supramentalization. Nothing, not the least thing should be left out, and all must be taken up, purified, and transformed. That was his resolution. He decided that nothing has to be left out, and everything has to be taken up, purified, and transformed. Then we are going for the another impression, another spiritual experience. We are going that sad, and we can make a short idea. When he was supposed to come back from England, his father wrote, the 3 sons I have produced, I have made giants of them, or I hope will be the glory of this country by a brilliant administration. I shall not live to see it, but remember this letter if you do. You know, it is almost compared, his 14 years, it is exile compared with the exile of 14 years of Barnabas, exile of Ramachandra. So when Ramachandra died out of this curse, he could not, Dasaratha could not see the face of his son Ramachandra. Like this, Sri Aurobindo's father, Dr. Krishnadhan Ghosh, also could not be able to see their face. When he was supposed to come, and sad incident happened, one sad news come that the ship is actually faced with accident. But unfortunately, Sri Aurobindo was supposed to, unfortunately, he stayed behind. He was not traveling by that ship, but this news came and his father died. Now we can we can have some experience, we can look at some experience in his life. In February 1893, the first week, the Carthage anchored in Mumbai Harbour, Bombay. That time it was Bombay, now itself it is Mumbai. This Carthage, that ship anchored in Bombay Harbour. This brilliant youth, aflame with love for his country, coming back from after the 14th year of exile, Sri Aurobindo is returning India. He is keeping his feet on this sacred land of India. This brilliant youth, aflame with love for his country, after 14 years of exile, 14 years tapasa in a foreign land, he set foot up once more upon the purifying Indian soil, richly watered, richly fruited. He compares this India is richly watered and richly fruited. He kept his feet upon this purifying Indian soil. He stepped ashore, and lo, what a marvelous experience! This spiritual experience he experiences, how it was. Sri Aurobindo writes, peace, all capital letter, peace, P-E-A-C, peace. A vast calm descended upon with the first step on Apollo Bandar in Bombay. A deep peace which surrounded him and remained for long months afterwards. This deep peace surrounded and touched and remained with him for long years. One of these past spiritual experience that took place inside him, that was busted upon, that emerged, he could feel it. It came all unmasked. After it came many and many another infinity and vast and varied. This was but the auspicious beginning of his long spiritual life. Of course, Sri Aurobindo speaks of that mine was the side door into the spiritual life. Whenever the king of Baroda was asking questions, he would say only 2 or 3 things: yes, no, or he will stop. Sri Aurobindo, this Gaikwad was feeling that definitely something yogic in it. One more thing you can remember, when there will be an invitation from the king of Baroda for a lunch, then he will deny because he is not having, showing the reason he is not having time. So it was concluded, when the people from all over the world, they were coming to have a darshan of the Gaikwad, the king, then one employee, simply an employee sitting who was holding a job under him, he was denying that he was not having any time. Just imagine what is his yogic mastery, you can imagine. Another spiritual experience we can see during in his first year at Baroda. Once Sri Aurobindo was a danger of carriage accident. There was a danger of carriage accident in Baroda during his first year. When he had a vision of Godhead surging up from within, then he can find one vision. If the emergence of a vision of a Godhead surging surging up from within, who was master of the situation and averted the danger. This Godhead from inside it emerged, it surged up upwards, and this vision of Godhead, this situation, he was the master of situation that God had and averted the danger. This was before he knew anything about the yoga, because he had not having the least interest or least idea or least vision or least practice of yoga, and had done any sadhana. Also he had not done anything. Just like the experience of the vast calm at the Apollo Bandara, just before you decided that peace, calmness, the very vast calmness in the Apollo Bandara, he had the spiritual experience first. He describes the incident with his very powerful sonnet. That sonnet is captioned is as Godhead. He writes, "Above my head a mighty head was seen. Above my head a mighty head was seen, a face with the calm of immortality. Then his hair was mingled with the sun and breeze, the world was his heart, and he was I. I housed in me the everlasting peace, the strength of one whose substance can't die." Imagine this sonnet, how the glorious sonnet. He had the experience, the spiritual experience in his first year of Baroda. He captioned, he wrote, and he made the immortal poem sonnet, that is the Godhead. So, little bit later, we can go up to his another experience, what he was having, another spiritual experience we can see. It was in Kashmir that Sri Aurobindo had quite unexpectedly had a third powerful spiritual expression, the realization of the vacant infinity while walking in the ridge of the Takht-e-Sulaiman. Takht-e-Sulaiman, that means the throne of Solomon. So he found the experience, the realization of the vacant infinity while walking on the ridge of the Takht-e-Sulaiman. So a hill on which there was a temple dedicated to the great Shankaracharya. This temple, Sri Aurobindo described the experience vividly in his sonnet Advaita. It was this experience was described in his sonnet, that is actually Advaita. Another experience he is having. People usually believe that that vision, that we see, what we hear, what we touch is real, nothing else. Sri Aurobindo, who is in the early life, did not believe in supramental things, but many experiences gradually came. One more experience we can describe. My own experience is that brain comes to the Prakashamaya, full of light. When I was practicing pranayam, I used to do that for 5 to 6 hours a day. But thing is that the mind worked with great illumination and power. At that time, I used to write poetry. I used to, at the pranayam, it was actually, I found some electric lines. In that time, I found 200, I wrote 200 lines per minute. This was the gain of this pranayama and experience. And finally, we know the great experience in the jail experience, Sarva Vasudeva Maya. I looked at the jail, they were no longer, it was the walls I was imprisoned, it was Vasudeva. So everywhere he could find Krishna Vasudeva Maya. And when he was sleeping under this, lay on the coarse blanket, he felt it was the arm, not the coarse blanket, but the arms of Sri Krishna, his friend and lover, it was surrounding him. The spiritual events Vivekananda was guiding in the jail, that we know. And the spiritual experience, he was actually moving up, that also we have seen, seated in the air. Anyway, time is up.